all the companies that have sprung up and are able to be like, you should buy our product because it's no emissions or it's recycled or whatever else, even when maybe actually producing that product in the quote unquote green way, this concept of greenwashing, is actually more harmful to the environment or wherever it's from. I mean, we hear the stories about you put in wind farms or fields of solar panels and you're actually killing everything that lives naturally in that field, but does it matter? Like, are we saying that's not worth it? It's hard to know exactly what her criticism is. I don't know of any benefits of global warming, but I also...
Plants grow faster?
I guess. I feel like... I don't know.
It's nicer in the summer.
We can reclaim Antarctica.
Yeah, the ice will melt. We'll leave the ice age, which is probably pretty cool.
But I think if the planet ever got hot enough to where Antarctica melted and we could reclaim it, the equator would probably be uninhabitable. The Middle East would be gone. You know, we'd be living on the caps, and there'd be a band in the center of the earth that's too hot to live.
There's the Larsen B ice shelf, I think, broke off as the Antarctic ice shelf.
Isn't that a TV show?
Larsen B?
No, there's a TV show where the equator has become, global warming has resulted in the equator region, like around the planet, being too hot. Oh, wow. So there are southern hemisphere people and northern hemisphere people, and it's very difficult to travel between the two hemispheres because of the heat in the middle.
Cool. But it reminds me of I think there was some show on Netflix recently, like different fantasy novels will have these concept of like war, like kingdoms that are separated by some place that's very difficult to cross. Like maybe we've been predicting this for a long time. The thing about all climate science, and I'm happy to try and protect the earth or, not import non-native species into wherever, take steps to protect the environment that you're living in. It just seems like the metrics behind climate science change a lot. Like the thing that we're concerned about changes. Like one time I came on here, I was like, aren't we concerned about the ozone layer? And everyone was like, no, the ozone layer was trendy, but now it's over. Like, how do I keep up with knowing how to protect the environment if the thing that they're saying is the most pressing danger changes all the time?
Big problem with climate science. It's like if you had 1,000 people taking a poop and you're like, at this rate, we're going to have huge mounds of poop and we're all going to die. Make them stop pooping. We need less people. And you're like, well, what if we move the poop over there and afterwards? And they're like, well, we hadn't considered that. We don't consider mitigating factors. We just look at the cause and unmitigated result. And we'll project that number out for X amount of years, infinite amounts of years. And we'll tell you that in 100,000 years, this will be the result. They don't take into account that we can pull the gases back out of the atmosphere, for instance, which would be like redisplacing the waste. Did that answer your question?
I don't know. I think so. Like I remember taking an environmental science course, like an AP environmental science course when I was in high school, and it being like, we talked about this the other week, but the light bulbs, they're like, the new LED light bulbs are going to change the world and they're so important and this, that, and the other. But now I never hear about the light bulbs. Now I hear about ocean levels. Now also I think the ocean levels are over because all the billionaires bought their beach houses, which is evidenced by the Maui map. And also, from what I knew about ice and water and volume, it all sort of works out if the ice melts. But again, maybe I'm wrong.
And a lot of these green technologies, for instance, wind turbines in Scotland, they got rid of 15 million trees. They basically deforested them to make way for wind farms. So you have that. Then you have the cobalt and lithium mines in Congo, which are for electric batteries, for solar panels, for cars. And they have to be replaced every year. And that causes tremendous pollution. Not only that, there's a lot of child labor. There's about 20,000 child slaves mining these for solar panels. So I think, all the people, these scientists that preach about we need to push wind turbines, we need all these solar panels, it's very hypocritical because oftentimes these things actually cause more environmental damage, deforesting entire natural habitats. And so I really think what this scientist was saying, it is being used for profit to scare people. And if this was true, if it really was the world's about to explode from global warming, why are these billionaires going on 2,000 private jets to Davos for the World Economic Forum every single year? So they don't practice what they preach. So it can't be that bad if they're saying the world's about to end, yet they're still on their vacation on their private jet in their 5 different mansions.